Greetings, beloveds. I am on my first video of creating a video series that is documenting and recording my reflection based off of my womb cycle this month. This first video begins on the first day of my moon cycle. I have long moon cycles for the past couple of months. It's about 39 days. And so today is my first day. And this idea was birthed this morning. I had an extremely painful cycle. I allowed myself to really go into it. I took a bath, and in those waters I allowed it to help me channel out the frequencies of the pain. And like a tuning fork, we can attune to these different areas in our body, whether it's pleasure or pain or whatever it may be, and we can share what that frequency is and able to help move the energy. And so this morning I was giving birth through to myself, through this pain, and through every scream and every cry and every grunt. I could feel the different things that were stored in my womb from this month, whether it's stress or just different thoughts or different times that I didn't speak out of a fully empowered space. I could feel that. I could feel the intricacy inside my womb. And the only way to move it was to release it through sound, through body movement, through vulnerability, through rawness. And it's so powerful when I do experience that pain. And it's been a master teacher for me. And it's usually the first couple of hours when I first start bleeding. And it's like I have to be reborn into the depth of who I am. And this is my current process. This is my current phase in my womb's mystery school. Everyone's lessons look different and yet very similar. And so we can reflect with all of each other off of our reflections of what we learn inside this school. And so I'm reflecting with all of you about sound. It was probably an hour and a half of releasing sounds, of experiencing deep pain inside my body. And then I finally tapped in. I got past all of these barriers and restrictions, and I released a sound of such primordial anguish. Like, it didn't even sound like a scream at that point. I don't even know how to fully explain it. It was otherworldly. And I released 3 of those, and I felt all this tension instantly leave my body, leave my womb. And after that, I felt inspired. Well, right after that, I felt vulnerable and I felt delicate, and I went and meditated in bed for a while. And then as I was laying there and I was drifting into my own imagination and my dream space and this renewal feeling like being a raw baby, I started to experience so much creativity moving through me, so many different ideas of creating. The personal idea that I had this morning in those moments was to create a clothing line for women to free bleed without needing to wear tight undies and tight things around their glands in such a delicate time in their lives during their cycle. They're so vulnerable and open and sensitive, and I had all of these different clothing ideas streaming through me, and I started doing research about where the fabric could come from, and all this creative. I started drawing different drawings and thinking of different designs that would help women really embody their depth of presence during that time. And then I was thinking about the other cycles and how this clothing line can reflect these different archetypes of the feminine in all of its characteristics, as well as their own inner masculine. And then I started thinking about creating a quilt that women can wrap themselves in. And this quilt is made of stars in the universe, and they can bleed all over this quilt and be naked and raw and vulnerable, bring it outside, inside. It's like you're being wrapped by your grandmother, and in her love and in her comfort of being allowed to free bleed. And so this is an example of the things that we can create through our wombs. We are constantly creating through Our wombs are the bowl, the chalice, the foundation of who us women are. It is the bowl that holds all of the juiciness of who you are. And your sacred heart is pulsating in the center of that. I had a dream 2 nights ago where I was this yellow rose inside of a garden, and this garden was pulsating, beautiful white rainbow, and there was this yellow rose that was just gushing honey, gushing pollen, and this golden nectar, and there was a bee. There wasn't a stem to the flower, it was just kind of like hovering there, and there were several of them, and the bee was like buzzing, pulsating inside of it, pollinating it, and it was this act of making love. And when I woke up in such ecstasy. And this is the continuous thing that we are all learning, that life is formed through sexual energy, through creation energy. And the more that we take responsibility for the purity of that energy, the purity of this process of renewal and giving birth to our lives through love, through ecstasy. Sex itself is one of the most potent in my perspective, tool of enlightenment. You face the mirror that is in front of you, whether that or within you, and you face all of the layers of your dams, of the things that keep you from truly living your life in bliss, in the highest alchemy of creation energy. And so our cycles, our beautiful yonis, in all of the different layers upon layers within layers within layers of the sensitivity of our yonis and our wombs, our pelvic floor, that chalice, teaches us, guides us to who we are, to who we most naturally are in our authentic nature. This is why so many women are putting their energy there. We are all one being. We are all representations of this divine feminine nature and divine masculine nature. But the more that we bring awareness, light, enlightenment to these vessels and the high alchemy vehicles of what they are, the more that we can become who we are and who we are meant to be here. The more that we purify our minds and our thoughts and the poison that is all around us. The poison of thought, of our own personal thoughts, of our relations. The poison of not staying strong in your presence, in your clarity, in your empowerment. The womb is the Akashic record, and it is recording all of this. If we do not take responsibility for the impurities and for the shadows, these sacred shadows that bring us back to ourselves, then we are but dreaming, dreamers in a dream. And it is through the light of awareness that we can become lucid dreamers, conscious creators of our reality. Our womb is continuously, especially during the bleeding cycle, inviting us to feel her. She's like, I am here. I am constantly here. I am constantly creating through my cycle of death and rebirth. And so when there's blood pouring from our bodies, we can't ignore it. And if we do, then we're lesser for it, truly. Because if we allow ourselves to really experience the mystery school of our wombs, we will return to ourselves and what we are capable of doing here as women, in our strength, in our empowerment. So on this first day of reflecting, on the first day of my blood cycle, I want to invite all of you to give yourself permission to truly allow this energy to dance you, to move you, to express you into being. This is what we are here to do. This is how we will purify not only the waters within our body, but also the waters of this planet. We all want to be able to go to any spring and be able to drink from that water, to jump in any river and be able to swim. The idea that we can't jump in water because it is toxic is pure insanity. And yet it has just become a part of life. It just is. Extinction of all these animals. It just is. I don't have time for that. I'm too wrapped up in my dream. But that is you. That is a direct reflection of what you have going on the inside. The more that we can embody purity in our lives, the more that we can embody and see the purity all around us, and the more that we can spread the knowledge of what does it mean to purify, to come back to self, to allow the layers of illusion to fall off, return to the self and who you most authentically are. So many people are afraid of that because their egos are like, I don't want to die. I don't want to let go of this identity of who I think I am, of this dream that I am consciously, unconsciously creating. But death is beautiful. It is nothing to fear. It is a beautiful expression of the universe. All things must die to be reborn. And then we get to such a state of alchemy that it's all happening at once. And that's immortality. It's all dying and birthing at the exact same moment. It's all masculine and feminine at the exact same moment. It's all light and dark at the exact same moment. We can bring that moment of awareness into everything that we do. And that is called being present in the moment, being present in the archetypal designs of nature in your body and the way that you interact with your reality. We are all like the hands of God, being these mudras throughout creation, and everything that we do throughout our day is symbolic, is beautiful, is a reflection, is a school, is a mystery school of coming back to who you are. And the more that we allow ourselves to die and become who we most naturally are, the more that we can actually create change here. Beautiful change. Worthy to know that we are worthy of living in paradise. Inside your own body, inside your own mind. And then in return, in the space all around you, the things that you can create within your garden. Do you have a bunch of weeds that are devouring your precious fruit in your garden? Are you ignoring those weeds? We all know that weeds can be very healthy, but what I'm saying is there are imbalance inside your own internal garden. Are you taking care of that garden? Because if you are, then it will reflect all around you in this Garden of Eden that is called Earth. Allow yourself to be with what is. And from that space, no matter where you're at, if you're in pain, if you're in bliss, if you're in agony, if you're depressed, if you're ecstatic, whatever it may be, even if you're bored, allow yourself to feel that, feeling intelligence. Allow yourself to express that. Or yes, whatever it may be, we got to move the energy. You wouldn't want water. You wouldn't put water inside a cup and put it there and be like, this cup is perfect because it is full and it is sitting here and it's going to sit here for days, and all of a sudden there's mold. You want your water to be flowing, to be energized. We energize our water by living fully, by expressing fully all of the juiciness of life, all of the expressions of life. And it takes sinking into the depth of who you are, not what other people think you should be, or you sculpting yourself because of people on social media, people in your lives, putting yourself outside of yourself. The only way that we are truly going to make real change here is if you find that change within yourself, if you find that true, authentic nature of who you are. To become the lucid dreamer, to be the source of your own empowerment. Love and blessings to all of you. I look forward to creating more videos and reflection throughout this month on my womb's mystery school and the many different layers of what she has to teach me, of what the universe has to teach me. First video of the first day of bleeding and that energy that I embody from that frequency. Love and blessings to all of you. Peace always.